Hi, second grade. So, guess what? We are still talking about pronouns. Are you tired of them yet? No, you shouldn't be. They're super important, okay? Now, do you remember what a pronoun is? If you do, go ahead and say it out loud. A pronoun is a word that... So, pronouns are words that take the place of a noun or nouns. Now, last week we talked about how some pronouns are used as the subject of a sentence. So I'm going to show you a sentence down here, and I want you to read it out loud first. It says, Lena is drawing. Now, I know that the subject of this sentence is Lena. Lena is who the sentence is about, okay? Now, I need to come up with a pronoun that can take the place of the noun Lena. What do you think I could use there? I could say she is drawing, okay? Some other pronouns that can be used as the subject of a sentence could be he, she, we, I, or they, okay? Now remember that last week we also learned that some pronouns are used after an action verb, okay? So I want you to read this sentence out loud. It says, Franco is reading a book. Now, I already see the action verb. I see that reading is the word that shows action. So I know that my pronoun is going to go after the action verb. I also see that the noun here is a book. Okay, so which pronoun could I use to take the place of the noun a book? I could say Franco is reading it. Now here are some more pronouns that you can use after action verbs. You could use the pronoun me, which we learned about last week, him, her, us. Now some pronouns show that someone owns something. And I don't know if you remember that there is something really important that we need to look for whenever we say that someone owns something. First, I want you to read this sentence out loud. Then we're going to find that special something. Here it is. Do you see? This is John's bicycle. I see an apostrophe S. That tells me that John owns the bicycle. Okay, so this is John's bicycle. Now, instead of saying John's, there is a pronoun that we could use to show us that he owns the bicycle. You could use the pronoun his. This is his bicycle. Okay, so now here are some other pronouns that you could use to show that someone owns something. You could say his, like we just learned, hers for girls, or their. Oh, and don't forget about yourself, mine. Okay, that shows that you own something. All right, I want you now to please take out your whiteboard and your whiteboard marker if you haven't done so yet, because after we read this whole thing together, you are going to help me answer some questions on the next page, okay? Okay, so I want you to follow along. I'm up here. Different kinds of pronouns. The pronouns I, he, she, we, and they are used as subjects of sentences. The pronouns me, him, her, us, and them are used after action verbs. The pronouns you and it can be used anywhere in a sentence. Okay. Let's look at this example over here. Can you read this out loud for me, please? Okay, these sentences say, Morris has cheese. He shares it. So, the pronoun he is the subject of the sentence. So that means that is what the sentence or who the sentence is talking about. The pronoun it is used after the action verb shares. Okay, I want you to read this next example out loud. It's these two sentences. Go ahead. So they say, Morris met Doris. Morris showed her the cheese. The pronoun her is used after the action verb showed. Okay, now get those whiteboards and whiteboard markers ready because you are going to help me answer these questions. So the directions say, underline the pronoun in parentheses that can take the place of the underlined word or words. So go ahead and read this first sentence out loud. It says, where did you get cheese? Doris asked. And the two pronouns that are in parentheses are she and they. So you are trying to figure out which of these two can take the place of this underlined noun. Where did you get the cheese? Doris asked. Go ahead and write that on your whiteboard. Okay. The pronoun that you should have used is she. Let's see if it makes sense. Where did you get cheese? She asked. Alrighty, go ahead and read number 2 out loud. It says, I bought the cheese, Morris said. And the two words in parentheses are them and it. So we need to figure out which of those two pronouns can take the place of the cheese. I bought the cheese, Morris said. Which of these two pronouns could you use? Write it on your whiteboard. So the pronoun you should have written down is it. Let's see if it makes sense. I bought it, Morris said. Okay, go ahead and read number 3 out loud. It says, Morris also gave Horace and Boris cheese. And the two pronouns in parentheses are her and them. So which of those are you going to use to take the place of Horace and Boris? Write that on your whiteboard. Okay, you should have written the pronoun them. Morris also gave them cheese. Okay, we're almost done. Ready? Read number 4 out loud. It says, Horace, Boris, and Doris thanked Morris. And the two pronouns that are in parentheses are they and us. So, which of these two could you use to take the place of Horace, Boris, and Doris? Write that on your whiteboard. You should have used the pronoun they. They thanked Morris. And the last one, number 5, read it out loud. It says, my friends are welcome, said Morris. So the two pronouns in parentheses are he and you. Which of those would you use to take the place of the underlined nouns, my friends? You would say, you are welcome, said Morris. All right, that's it. I hope you know what a pronoun is by now because we have talked about them so much. Oh my goodness.